Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup, the master edited version for you guys that are not catching it live. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we will not have the news, and the week after is in the air. We will see what it looks like. If we do have it the week after, it might be back at the old time, 9 o'clock. But I just don't know yet, so we'll figure things out when we get to next week. I gotta survive the next 2 weeks first. We are combining all news sections again for a little while anyway. Mostly the effort to get more Linux content and put all the news in one link and then all the extra Linux content. So this week we have an extra Linux video hitting. I recorded a short video for Sunday that's Linux related. What is Ubuntu doing to Deb packages? It's a big question, but we'll see on Sunday. So you can go ahead and check out the channel for more of those coming up. Also, we will have a video coming out exclusively to alt tech platforms since we're dealing with DVD codecs. I just don't want to put more media tutorials up on the YouTube. For whatever reason, they tend to give me community strikes for doing perfectly legal stuff on Linux. But, oh well, such is life. Let's go ahead and get on into the news. First up, Waterfox is once again independent. You remember that Waterfox, which was a good alternative to Firefox in the past, was purchased by the shady as hell company, System One. I have never seen a privacy policy more psycho than System One. It literally has things like, we will purchase data from third world to augment the profiles that we have learned about you. That is literally in their privacy policy. So of course it makes sense for System One to invest in Startpage and to buy a privacy browser. Yeah, something goofy and nefarious is underway there, but Alex Contis, who is the developer and main programmer of Waterfox, announced the other day that he has gained, in fact, on July 4th, announced independence, abandoning System One. He has not explained why he did that or the circumstances, but I did go over onto System One's site and found that indeed no references to Waterfox are over there. They all went 404, and you can go look those up on the Internet Archive, but it is good to see that. Now, does this mean Waterfox is absolutely on the table? I would give it a few versions. I want to see what they're doing. I want to give it a couple release cycles because it really does do a serious hit when you are like, we are a privacy browser. Let's get bought by a company that makes Google and Microsoft look private. I mean, System One is just, and that's what the funny thing. Something is happening at Startpage too. I think they brought in maybe a new person manager of social media, because like every day on Twitter they've been asking like simple questions. Like the first question they asked was like, what do you look for in a privacy company? And I actually responded to him and I said, I look at your associations. For example, why is Startpage having any association at all with System One? Because their privacy policy is outright abusive, and I linked to the privacy policy. So it is frightening to see, but we'll see. Maybe this is good stuff down the road for Waterfox. We'll see. Other good news in the privacy front, Fairphone, which is a repairable smartphone, is now going on sale in the United States with de-goggled EOS. If you've not seen EOS before, I think I've done a couple videos on it. I know I have an EOS phone down here. Is it turned on? Oh, it's not turned on. Let me see if I can get that guy turned on. So EOS is based on Lineage, but it has a UI that's very much like iOS. It's not my particular cup of tea, but what makes EOS so good is that it actually has like a cloud backup strategy and stuff like that. Now, all of their cloud backup strategy ties into Nextcloud accounts, utilizing an app that EOS developed that you can get on F-Droid and install on any of your Lineage-based phones, syncing it into your own private Nextcloud server and do full contact, photo, text message, everything backup across your entire device, all through their app. Now, they have free accounts based on their implementation of Nextcloud, or you can sync it to your own private Nextcloud. So here is actually EOS. So you can see it very much looks like Apple. It does have the one thing I don't like about it a lot, or maybe I do, I don't know. It's that it has micro G installed. So if you do not want micro G at all, it's not going to be the best option for you. It does have a good app store that actually allows you to get in there and download most apps that are going to be available on the Google Play Store. So it does have those available. This is a good, solid alternative to running Android, very privacy focused, and it allows you to sync all of your data in a single ecosystem through a private Nextcloud account or through a Nextcloud account through them. So EOS is a very good privacy honoring phone ROM, and the fact that we can now buy it on a repairable phone in the United States is a good thing for privacy. So if you do not want to mess around with installing a custom ROM on a phone, you can simply buy one from EOS, and it is a respectable operating system. So that is pretty good. I don't know, maybe I'll go ahead and do a video on that if I don't already have one on the channel. I just don't remember. Good feelings gone. Let's go ahead and move into the dystopian end of privacy. The Techscape self-driving cars are here and they're watching you. So think about this. So all these self-driving cars, like the Teslas, they have cameras all around. They have Sentry mode. You walk by a Tesla, the Tesla may be filming you. And it's not that just that they film you. Everything a Tesla does with data, it just sends on up to Tesla. So these cars, as they're driving around or just parking out there, you walk by it and it's very possible that Tesla is uploading data. Now, what are they doing with that data? Are they analyzing that for facial recognition? Are they feeding it in? Are they selling the data to Clearview AI so that Clearview can get a better idea of who's where, utilizing this giant network of cars? I mean, think about that. If Clearview were to approach Tesla and be like, hey, quiet closed door meeting, Mr. Musk, we want to go ahead and utilize your camera platform to harvest data to see who's where based on our facial recognition. Do you think that Musk will be like, oh, no, I care about privacy too much? Hell no. Musk doesn't care about privacy. He's just a business guy, a big tech business guy. The concept of privacy doesn't make a sense. In fact, I was mentioning Start Paid Stuff. They posted a beautiful meme on Twitter today. I did not repost this one just because I already reposted too many things. But it's a swimming pool and a whole bunch of people, and the whole water is yellow with pee, and there's one guy in the middle with clear water around him, and the caption on it says, what it's like to be the only privacy-focused person in your friend group. Okay, but that's Musk, right? That is Musk all the way. And so these cars, it's not just the Teslas, it's the Cruise, it's all of the self-driving cars, it's all of the electric cars, because they all have camera networks, they all have integrated SIM cards, they are all constantly uploading data to the cloud. And so it is worthy of thinking about what we are doing with the constant rolling and roving cars crisscrossing, because just remember, tow trucks got into a good business by mounting license plate readers on their cars, scanning around looking for cars with open warrants. We've covered that a couple years ago, and that's the type of stuff. Now all of these cars have these things all integrated in. It's not just the tow truck companies, it's not just the police cars, it's every car on the street. And we have to think about the type of data that we are giving up. Just walking by a Tesla, is that going to allow somebody to run your picture through facial recognition, combining with where the Tesla's at, and say, oh, this individual person is here? Of course, the Tesla's not, sending de-anonymized data about the user there, but doesn't say anything about the de-anonymized data of the people walking in front of the car. I mean, after all, you're in public. You have no expectation of privacy in public, as they would say. But it is worth thinking about as these cars are taking over. That's yet one more thing. I'm not, in principle, necessarily opposed to electric vehicle as a general concept, particularly for a person who lives in a city or doesn't do a ton of driving. It's a decent idea. The problem I have with electric vehicles is the fact that every single one of them are so integrated with privacy harvesting data and linking that stuff on up to the cloud. And that is really your fundamental problem. On to our last article here of the day from Alternative 2. Meta's Threads app, a new contender to replace Twitter, available now. So depending on whether you're looking at right-wing or left-wing media groups, you're looking at this Twitter and they're either, or this Threads app, and they're either going, we're going to completely dominate the whole internet. Twitter is goodbye. It's closing down. Oh, it's taking over. And then you look at people on the other side. They're going, yeah, a bunch of people tried Threads and they all quit because it sucks. It's horribly buggy. Then the problem is people are finding out that they can't even quit Threads, because to create a Threads account, you have to tie it to your Instagram account. And to delete your Threads account, you have to delete your Instagram account. Isn't that fascinating? I think we have that later on, a little bit more detail in the business section. But this is it. No secret, Meta's been working on a new app to directly compete with Twitter for a while now in response to multiple controversies about microblogging platform has been embroiled since Elon Musk took the helm. And today, big tech giant has finally released a service called Threads. Threads is available on iOS and Android in 100 countries, excluding the EU due to concerns about data privacy regulations. Okay. The app is closely tied to Instagram, allows users of the photo-sharing social network to post short updates, including text up to 500 characters. Oh, we got more characters now. They're like, you can do it. We could do it better. So in contrast to Twitter, free, and let's see, hold on, linking them and video up to 5 minutes long. In contrast to Twitter, free version, which only allows 280 characters, 140-second videos. Naturally, we can expect basic features like thread creation, comment mentions, likes, reposting threads, profile pictures, and more, as well as exclusive Instagram-related features. The problem is that it's not really working super well. So this article goes into a little bit more of it. It appears to be emerging as one of the most promising alternatives to Twitter, but one major drawback is its lack of privacy protection, which is common concern with many of Meta's products. App face privacy concerns due to its extensive data collection practices, which encompasses various types of data, including health, finances, purchases, contact information, usage data, location data, user-generated content, search, and browser. Basically everything that you possibly do, and everything that you do on your phone, even when the app is not opened. And basically EU's like, yeah, no thank you. So they're probably avoiding that just so Threads itself as a company doesn't draw too many fines as it's drawing into everything else. Well, as we transition over into the security section, we want to highlight our first affiliate of the night. If you want to help support the channel, we do use affiliates. They will help pay the bills around here. TLM.li/DOH. DigitalOcean hosting $200 good for 60 credits. $200 credit good for 60 days. Wow, I can almost talk today. So right now I'm experimenting with some DigitalOcean stuff, doing a virtual min install. We're going to see how this replaces cPanel. And if my glue records ever resolve, I'll actually be able to determine if it works well. We'll see. So I'm installing the community version of it, which installed quite flawlessly once I got my key pair system fixed on my Manjaro system, which that was a me problem. But that's all done. Hosting this all on DigitalOcean, giving it a try, so expect some videos out comparing cPanel with Virtual Min down the road to see if it is a good, viable alternative. Using my link, TLM.li/DOH is going to get you $200 credit, good for 60 days. And now we're going to jump on over into security news. So first up in security news, it is a day ending in Y. That means that there's another WordPress breach. This is the Ultimate Member plugin is under attack. Threat actors are exploiting a critical WordPress 0 day in the Ultimate Member plugin to create secret admin accounts. If you log into your WordPress account, look at your users. If you see a whole bunch of unknown administrators, you are being affected by this. The best fix for that on the short term, push updates on everything, delete all those administrative accounts, change the password on your database, and run a few extra diagnostics and things like that. I have actually seen this type of breach in the wild. Believe it or not, I've actually fixed almost every type of WordPress hack and breach. And I can say after all the WordPress sites, other than the one site that I built where I used a commercial theme, I have never had a custom WordPress site I had be hacked. Hopefully I don't in the future, but being as I'm transitioning my stuff away from WordPress, hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Not a challenge, just saying that if you do to purchase your themes and your plugins from Envato, you're way more open to breaches and hacks versus if you actually know what you're doing, you're not a script kiddie and you learn the actual WordPress codex and you build your themes to customize your site. That's going to work. So this particular one is particularly problematic because they get in on a back door, they create an admin account, then they can log in and they can do all sorts of things with the admin account. If they wanted to, they could install plugins to basically extract your whole database, which will allow them to have a plain text copy of your whole database. Of course, passwords are never breached in that because WordPress secures them. It's not pure MD5, which is highly breached, but it's an MD5 connected with Assault. But if they have administrative access to your site, they could actually get all the information to de-anonymize all of your passwords as well. So just be aware of that. If you're using the Ultimate Member plugin on WordPress, you want to make sure that you have the latest update. It looks like 266 or above is going to fix that particular breach. Next up, Brave Browser has some good new features. It's going to prevent websites from port scanning visitors. Port scanning is a way that you can look for vulnerabilities in your network. So if you visit a website, for example, that's specifically designed to look for open ports, obviously that website is doing open port scanning. That's cool. That's fine. But then the problem happens is that when those scripts are running behind the scenes and you don't know about them, and it's a malicious site looking for an open port to stuff a worm into, that becomes a serious problem. So Brave Browser is going to prevent websites from port scanning visitors. If you use Brave Browser, you're going to find out you have a new string added to your security bow. Websites performing port scanning will be automatically blocked with version 1.54 of the browsing tool. Port scanning, of course, they do this to look for what's open so they can see what types of things are available. I believe there's ways to turn this off, and some sites are whitelisted if they are a well-reputed site designed for port scanning, just to tell you what's open and what's not. You know, we do not want to block those because those are useful for us. So requests to localhost resources from a local's context are allowed automatically. Brave does not block locally hosted pages from accessing other locally hosted sources. Brave will continue to use a filter list rules to block anything abusing localhost. Brave will now includes a permission called local host permission. Only sites with permission will be able to make sub-resource requests to local host sources. Local host, by the way, if you're not familiar, it's just the term for things going on this computer, not on anything else on the LAN or the WAN. Brave also includes a list of trusted sites known to access localhost resources for user benefiting reasons. So expect that type of stuff happening. Of course, if you're trying to create one such site, good luck with that. Brave may not. You might have to have a hard time whitelisting that, but we'll see what happens down the road. And our last article in security today is the Meduzda Stealer. What is it and how does it work? I wanted to highlight this one. As of now, this is only on Windows. Yes, suckers. And so what Meduzda Stealer is going to do is it's going to get in here and it is actually harvesting data from crypto wallet extensions, password managers, and 2FA extensions. Basically, it's targeting anything you're doing on a browser for running password managers, two-factor authentication, or crypto wallets. All that type of stuff is open game for this particular malware. It's actually harvesting real data, sending real data back. And it does actually have a few fun things. Here's a nice picture of it. So, of course, don't look directly at it. You know, if Meduzda Stealer's on your system, don't look directly at your screen. You got to go through a mirror, right? Isn't that what they did battling Medusa? Get a shiny shield. What is that? The Aegis shield, I think, right? That's what you're going to need. So this is just a little bit about the data it's collecting. This is how it works. It starts, first thing it's going to do is it's going to check a geolocation. It's only currently operating in 10 countries. If it's not operating in one of those countries, it immediately exits itself. Maybe this is to avoid detection. Maybe this is to attack certain actor states. We don't know. If the geolocation passes, the next thing it's going to do is it's actually going to check its attack server. So if the attack server is online then it's going to proceed. If the attack server is offline, it's going to exit. So somebody can figure out what the attack server is and take it down. It's going to stop functioning, presumably, again, to prevent you from being able to harvest what's going on and prevent people from understanding how and what it's targeting. So it does have two nice kill mechanisms to prevent people from figuring out what it is. So you have to be in the location, and the attack server has to be online. Then it's going to collect system information, browser information, password manager information, mining information, and other installed game information. Yes, it on top of stealing all of your other passwords and stuff, it also would like to know what games you're playing. So go figure. And then it's going to take the data, it's going to send that to the attack server, and then exit the program. So here's a little bit more about what's going on. These are the countries that are in the exclusion list. I think these are the ones that are not working through. And here's the system details collected: system build, computer name, CPU details, execution path, geo, GPU, hardware ID details, public IP, OS details, RAM details, screen resolution, screenshot, time zone, username. Here's the information. And then it's going to work on a variety of browsers. I don't know, like, do we need to do a video on every one of these browsers? I mean, these are all the browsers that it's going to do. Like, everything's on here. So there you have it. And then you can see this is the Windows application. It's going to check the Windows registry, looking for just a few different versions. And then it's going to do some clients: Steam client, Discord, password manager applications, two-factor authentication, and cryptocurrency wallets. So you can see what's going on here. So look at that. 1Password. Ooh, KeePassXC is on there. Bitwarden's on there. NordPass. Yeah, LastPass. Yeah. So you got to be careful with this guy here. And with that, it will grab all its information. So this is something to be wary of. I didn't remember reading exactly how you get this guy. So that was the thing. I was mostly interested in seeing which password managers it's impacting, and all of them. So there you have it. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do today we are highlighting our shop. So if you want to get some alien hats or coffee cups, things like that, shop.switchedtolinux.com. You can jump on over there. We got baby onesies with aliens and tinfoil hats. Isn't that awesome? We got RM, RF, no preserve, root, code of conduct. There you go. Back in those days. And we got the Switch to Linux, you fool, a few other cats and tinfoil hats, all sorts of fun stuff we have on over here. So with that, if let's see what we're going to do. I believe we're moving on to AI next. Shop.switchedtolinux.com for the merch. And now let's move on over to our AI overlords. ChatGPT pulls the plug on Bing integration after people use it to bypass paywalls. People are like, hey, ChatGPT, give me the summary rundown of that latest Wall Street Journal article. Great. So now Wall Street Journal is all mad at ChatGPT and Microsoft and Bing. So they're like, okay, we'll shut that crap down. So you can now no longer go through and use ChatGPT with Bing just to get past your paywalls. They'll kind of figure this out down the road. I think we're going to get to the point, I think, where they'll turn this back on once they figure out how to move on it. But that's that. Valve responds after it claims to have banned AI-generated games from Steam. This is still kind of a gray area, and the problem is that a video game was submitted to Valve for Steam, and they turned it down, and then it started up a big subreddit post, and people are saying, we can't publish games with AI content. And what Steam appears right now to be concerned about is that did the AI that was used, did it have any training on models that have copyright? Because if they did, if Steam publishes or allows to be published a game on their platform that has copyrighted assets, the copyright claimant can come back against Steam and the game developer for posting the game. Steam's the one with the deep pockets, so they're going to be the one that's going to be out, and the game developer's going to be like, oh, won't do that again, things like that. They'll probably get banned from that platform, or they'll just close that company down and spin up a whole completely different company, recycle a few things around and call it good. But what they're doing is they're asking, is the AI being trained on assets that they do not have fair use to use? Because if they're not, then the problem we have here is that with the AI, how it's creating these things, it sees a photo. Let's just say it sees the famous screen painting, and then it creates some painting based on a concept of that. And that's open to some copyright claim, depending on what it's going to look like. So it's very interesting to see what's going on there. But the reality of this is that the AI is being used in very interesting ways in this current world, as we're going to see on our next article as well. But Steam is being concerned that they do not want to be sued when AI adds a bunch of assets to a game that they can get sued for down the road. So very interesting. And on to our last article here in AI news. Amazon has a big problem as AI-generated books flood Kindle Unlimited. This is a big concern for me. Of course, I have books that have spent some time on the #1 list in their categories on Amazon. And so, I do sell a decent amount of books every month. And so as I look at those books and say those books are going to be crowded out by content farms just spinning out nonsense garbage in AI and uploading it, I think what we might start to see is Amazon's going to start putting stringent requirements onto books. And that very well might push out the small independent book publishers like myself. So I might have to be paying per book to upload like I do on Ingram. And overall, it looks like it could have serious negative consequences for me as an author, and that's what I have the biggest concern. So as the story goes in, the AI comes in. Authors in several news outlets have recently reported significant uptick in AI-generated books showing up in multiple bestseller lists, many seemingly sounding like nonsense. Self-publishing, such as Amazon's Kindle Direct program, has become a way for many genuine authors to bring their work to the public and build a following without the help of a large publisher. Because these self-publishing capabilities are purposely easy to sign up for, it seems anyone can generate endless AI-written books and upload them to be sold on Amazon's ebook store and make them available for reading via Kindle Unlimited, which, if you're unfamiliar with Kindle Unlimited is a program that allows you to upload your book. People can download it for free, and you get paid based on how many pages of that book that they read. So recently, an indie author, Caitlin Lynch, tweeted about noticing that only 19 of the bestsellers in the teen and young adult contemporary romance top 100 were legit books. The rest were nonsensical, incoherent, and seemingly AI-generated. She writes, the AI bots have broken Amazon. Take a look at the bestsellers from the teen, young adult, contemporary romance books top 100 chart. I can see 19 legit books. Let's pull that link up. Let's see if I can spot them. Wait Till You Love Me. Wait, what? Wait Till You Love Me, a picture of bird in teen romance and adult fiction. Huh? All right, let's have a look. Summer Turned Pretty. We Always Have Summer. He Had Been Broken. See, I can't really tell. It's not really my genre. So, I can't really tell. It all kind of makes no sense to me. But it's interesting. Let's see. Like, why is this one listed a few times? That's curious to me. Now, they did say that this at least partially was fixed by now, but if I were to spend a little bit of time digging more closely into that, we might see a little bit more. The Motherlode website later looked into dozens of books on the platform and saw that a few days later, after Lynch's tweets, the AI books had vanished from the bestseller list, probably removed by Amazon. They were, however, still available for purchase and had enjoyed a significant amount of visibility before vanishing. Also, as Lynch very understandably speculates, the mass uploading of AI-generated books could be used to facilitate click farming, where bots click through the book automatically, generating royalty. That is a concern, that somebody just creates something where they upload a bunch of books and have a separate bot that just clicks through the books, and then it just basically becomes a money loop. Spin it up on AWS. You pay AWS $5 a month. You have the thing spinning nonstop, reading through Kindle Unlimited books, and you get paid a bunch of money. And Amazon's actually going to be the one that gets hurt down the road. So I think that's going to have serious negative consequences for real authors down the road. But it's one of these things that we had to think about before we unleash this crap on the world. So I guess I will be joining the deeper throes of Luddism more often than not. Major concern quickly emerged both authors and readers. Most of us readers are seeking out books that, at least for now, are written by human authors. Makes it harder to find those kinds of books. Emphasizing this will be the death knell for Kindle Unlimited if Amazon cannot contain this. So Amazon does say have clear guidelines for books that can be listed for sale and would investigate when concerns are raised in order to protect both the readers and authors. It didn't explicitly state it was making an effort specifically to address the apparent spam-like persistent uploading of nonsensical and incoherent AI-generated books. That is kind of true. AI, like Amazon does some weird stuff though. Like my book Synaptergy, I'm not allowed to advertise it on Amazon. They say that the cover depicts human suffering, which it doesn't. So that book is at a serious disadvantage because I can't run ads on it. Because why? I don't know. And I've tried to explain, there's no human suffering. Like, can you explain to me why it's human suffering? It's human suffering. Because that's how every one of these big companies are. So, of course, the big problem now with ChatGPT could make a bunch of stuff up. Of course, if it's a fictional story, what's to prevent it from plagiarizing? Because that's the type of stuff I see. I tried to use some AI. I said, I just want to see what happened if I tried to generate marketing content for a book, saying this is the concept of the book, and try to tease to the AI. The only thing the AI would do over and over and over and over, it would just give me a summary of someone else's book. I'm like, this is stupid nonsense. And it is stupid nonsense. It's just your average person is too stupid to actually recognize that it's stupid nonsense. And that is the death of the world. We are becoming idiocracy right before our very eyes. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. That will help support the channel, all the different channels that we have. So you can jump on over there, patreon.com/TOMM, if you want to help support the channel on Patreon. And now we're going to jump on over to business news. First up in business news, mobile phones and other digital type devices are going to be banned from Dutch classrooms. We need to get Stexenhammer's opinion on this one, being he's over there. Education Ministry in Netherlands says tech is a distraction from learning and only will be allowed if specialized need. Very good. This is exactly what we need. I completely 100% support this. And honestly, this is exactly the type of stuff that we need to push here in America. And so with this, what we're going to see is that students will, when they do not have those distractions of phones and all the extra tech, then it's actually going to increase the learning. I would like to see them say, we need to, for the most part, abandon technology in the classroom. Technology in the classroom, it can be deceptive in that it makes you think you're learning something, but you're really not learning as well as you think. You're picking up recognition, not learning. If you want to read about the science behind this, the social commentator Neil Postman did a fabulous book called Amusing Ourselves to Death. He has near the end of the book a whole section on technology and education. And even though it was written in the 80s, it is absolutely still on point to this day now. And so this is a good move. Starting January 1st, 2024, Dutch government said an attempt to limit distractions during lessons. Devices will only be allowed if they are needed for a specific instance or for specific skills, medical reasons, or for people with disabilities that need that form of technology. Mobile phones are intertwined in our lives. They do not belong in the classroom, the education minister says. Students need to be able to concentrate and need to be given the opportunity to study well. Mobile phones are a disturbance, scientific research shows, and we need to protect students against it. Of course, here in America, we're just like, use the app, use the app, use the app, use the app, use the app. And then we're like forcing our children to agree to the draconian privacy policy of Facebook to stay abreast with what's going on in the classroom. I think any teacher that's like, you got to put this on Facebook, they just need to be instantly fired. You are clearly too incompetent to be able to work with what you are working with. And I just realized right now I didn't have my business thing on. My apologies for that. Hey, better late than never, right? All right, so that's what Dutch is up to. Kind of fun. And Ubuntu 23.10. Now, I have a video about this coming out on Sunday in detail. We're going to look at it. But I do have some other thoughts and concerns. Ubuntu's 23.10 new software app will demote Debs, apparently. Now, they say apparently. In my early testing, it does not demote the Debs. But that is installing it on 23.04 and enabling the new store, which is still in experimental phase. So we do not know exactly what's going to happen, especially since we know that they are trying to push snaps more on people. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So the new app store is expected to ship with Ubuntu 23.10 when it's released in October. It will debut with a notable change to Deb support. Don't get too excited. The new store is one you've already heard about. This is the Flutter software hub that they wrote about. The Ubuntu devs wanted to make it official, and so they did. Now, this is already the software store in the immutable Ubuntu desktop, which is currently in development. So if you've already seen that, you've seen the new app store. I actually, controversial opinion here, I actually like it. It is a very good software store. Now, my concern is in the new version in 23.10, when this is made the default application for the Snap Store, my question is, and what the article author is suggesting is, are they going to disable Debian repository from it? Right now, if you go down to the settings down here, let me see if I can pull up that picture bigger. There's a little settings button down here, and if you pull up that little settings button, you can add various repositories, you can add custom repositories, and you can add the system repositories. When I did my testing, all of those were in here by default. So my app store, as I was installing things, it had the snap packages and the repository packages in it, and it was actually easier to tell whether I was planning to install a snap versus a repository application. That, though, is installing the store on a current production version of Ubuntu. And that is going to be the question, are they going to take that out? The article seems to suggest they are. My early testing says they are not. So we will kind of see around October what the actual plan is going to be. So Ubuntu, of course, Debian-based Linux distribution, blah, blah, blah. They are positioning snaps as to get software, and what they were trying to say, and what the article says here, the plan in mind won't be surprising to hear that the Deb software will not be the primary aim. I think I missed a section there. Basically, okay, so the director of engineering says the new hub will be a Snap-first app store designed around Snap metadata. If the same piece of software exists in Ubuntu repository and the Snap store, the new store will only make it possible to install the Snap version. That is the point. That is the point of concern. Again, in my early testing, enabling this store right now, I can install both. The question is, when it comes time to actually launch this in the next release, 23.10, are those Debian repositories going to be enabled, or are they all going to be disabled, requiring you to manually go into the settings and enable them if you want those? This seems to suggest that their approach is to only list the data that's there. The problem is if they take out the Debian repositories, you can't install anything except snaps. And I don't see them doing that either. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a wait and see game, because the store, as it currently is, and you can install it yourself down here at the bottom of the article. If you're running Ubuntu, you can do snap refresh store and use the preview and edge. This is going to get you the new store. When I did my testing, I did my testing. You look for things that were snaps. Of course, all the snaps were there. If I look for things like Audacity or Kdenlive that have snap packages and repository packages, I was able to install either or, and it was very easy to tell which was which because of the UI, which had either the Debian logo or the Snapcraft logo. And then I could easily switch which one I was doing. So we'll see what happens down the road. The article is seeming to say that they're going to remove the Debian packages if there's a snap available. I have not seen that yet, but we'll kind of see what happens, won't we? Kind of fun. And on to our main article in business news today. Fake reviewers face big fines. The FTC just released new rulings, no congressional oversight, by the way, to crack down on fake reviews on a new, they're proposed rules. Let me make that clear. They're proposed rules. Organizations involved in buying, selling, and manipulating of reviews could be very much out of pocket. Every time a customer sees a fake review, it will carry a fine of up to $50,000 per viewing. Kind of like if an unsolicited robocaller or somebody violates the CAN spam and sends you unsolicited spam email, they have to pay you thousands of dollars. The problem is, if you actually try and collect that, it is impossible to collect because you can't sue them for it. And basically you have to go through the FTC. The FTC has to make a ruling. They won't make a ruling until enough people complain. Nobody complains. They all just delete the stuff. And so the companies get away with it perpetually. So, I'm sure, if I'm going to get paid $50,000, now they're going to be fined. If I'm going to get paid $50,000 every time I see a fake review, I'm going to be hanging out on Amazon looking at the review section and identifying the fake ones. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So, but the proposed rules on fake reviews shows that we're all available means to attack deceptive advertising in the digital age. I, in principle, like what they're doing. I just don't think that there's a way to actually pull it off. So I hate the fact that review farms are out there. I've actually had clients before saying, "Oh, can you do a bunch of reviews for this?" Like, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I am not an unethical person. So the fact is that there are a lot of people out there trying to buy and sell fake reviews. There's a lot of scams for reviews, including a few of these rules that I look at going, man, I kind of like that, but I don't really see this ever actually taking case. First, selling or obtaining fake consumer reviews or testimonies. So just the outright making up of fake stuff. That's part of it. Review hijacking, which is when a customer reviews one product and we take that review and we apply it to other products instead. Buying positive or negative reviews. So if you are either on the buying end or on the selling end of negative reviews, that will trigger the law. Insider reviews and consumer testimonials. This is the part that's really annoying because at what point in time are you doing this? Because, as YouTubers, my inbox fills up with people. Yeah, you want to review our product? I easily get 100 or 200 of these a week. Okay, you want to review our product? And usually it's really hilarious stuff. It's like, we love your YouTube channel. Would you like to review our new Smart Hub? Like, clearly you don't watch my YouTube channel, you moron. So it's fun though to read some of those. I should actually collect those and spoof on them. That would really be a funny video. Should I do that? Let me know in the comments. I get enough content. We could do a weekly news roundup of the horrible offers I got from the scammy reviewers. That would be hilarious. All right. Insider reviews and consumer testimonials. The proposed rule would prohibit a company's officers and managers from writing reviews or testimonials of products or services without clearly disclosing their relationships, which is already a ruling. If I'm handed a product for review, I already have to disclose that it was given to me, or it was paid, or it was not paid. I already have to do that. So that's really no change. Company controlled review websites. Businesses would be prohibited from creating or controlling a website that claims to provide independent opinions. Okay, that's an interesting one. Illegal review suppression. This one is a one I would like to see this ruling out there. Businesses would be prohibited from using unjustified legal threats or other intimidation or false accusations to prevent or remove a negative consumer review. The proposed rule would also bar a business from misrepresenting that the reviews on its website represents all reviews submitted when negative reviews have been suppressed. So if you legitimately have a bad experience at a company, you report a truthful bad experience. They can't be sitting there fighting you going, you can't do that. I like that rule. And then selling fake social media indicators, prohibiting from selling false indicators of social media influence or fake followers or views. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm on board with that. But again, some of these things I just don't see happening. But it's kind of interesting to see what's going to occur. Those are the business stuff. Let me know what you think about those down below. So before I transition over into SillyVille, we are highlighting our next affiliate, NordVPN. If you happen to need NordVPN or need a VPN, Nord does not keep logs. It is good, a decent service. I am not the person who's going to tell you, you have to use this for every internet connection or you're not going to be safe on the internet, because most of the people that tell you about ExpressVPN or NordVPN or private internet, whatever these guys, they are incompetent. They're like, if you just log into this VPN, Google can't track you. Yes, it can. It can track you just fine. You have just logged in. Not only are they tracking you, they're tracking and storing absolutely everything they're doing about you. That's not the purpose of a VPN. Okay? Bench Bureau. So the reality is a VPN is useful if you need to protect your internet connection, if you need to break out of your ISP, if you need to break out of your geolocation. These are all very good reasons to use a VPN. So if you are always visiting coffee shops, or you need to break out of a geolocation, or you have reasonable suspicion to mistrust your ISP, a VPN would be good. NordVPN would be a good option to help with all those. They do have servers all over the world. You can set your location as all sorts of places, and they have a lot of different servers you can probe and test. tlm.li/Nord. If you want that, of course, you see this timer down here. You only have 8 hours left, guys. 8 hours left. 8 hours left until the timer resets. So, you notice every time I bring up Nord, it's always 8 hours left because I'm always doing the show about the same time. Very interesting. So don't buy into that dark pattern. Just honestly review if you need a VPN. If you do, tlm.li/Nord will help support the channel. With that, let's head on over to SillyVille. And first up with SillyVille, Fiat says it has the cutest EV will tote accessories like, and I kid you not, a little shower. Why are you kidding me not? I'm a van dweller. I would love to have a car with a built-in shower. One less thing for me to do. I mean, I haven't had a shower in, I don't know, a week or two? I don't know. No, I've had a shower more recently than that. You can always tell. I shave when I have a shower, so, that's kind of your indicator. Until I start growing the beard back, then you'll have no idea. All right. Which is kind of hilarious. My friends were watching a YouTube video today, and the people were doing this thing like, how effective is a soap? And they were doing bacterial cultures. And he was like, oh my God, I just don't believe it, man. The soap ones had so much more bacteria on it. It's like, yeah, this is microbiology 101. Okay. This is the regression of intelligence in America bleeding out right before your eyes. In microbiology class 1, you learn about the natural antibiotics your skin produces, and when you're constantly cleaning your skin and constantly soaping your skin, you're wiping that stuff off and you're giving bacteria more ability to grow and reducing their ability to be suppressed. So constantly showering and constantly washing yourself is actually worse. Okay. And they just proved it using these scrubs. I forget what channel it was. So like, this is so fascinating. It's like, it's so fascinating because you guys are incompetent. This is basic biology. Basic biology. I don't know how I got into that from this, but I would love it if I could buy a car with a shower built in. That'd be totally cool. And yes, I can actually. There are actually devices. There's a few really good ones. Van City Van Life has an amazing little device. You plug it in there, you plug it into a good 12-volt power supply, give it a propane tank, and literally drop that thing in any stream, lake, or any other standing body of water. It sucks the water up, feeds it through the propane, and gives you hot water anywhere. It's totally awesome. I just don't know if I have room for that. And frankly, my shower's right down here. I just use this pot. It works for me. Hopefully it works for you. So there you go. But Fiat, little EV with a car, with a shower. Look at this. Look at this guy, dude. Totally awesome. I want that. Maybe I need to. That's going to be my next car. I'm going to be a little Fiat EV micro camper. I'm going to build my whole office out of this thing. What do y'all think? All right. So back to Threads again. Everyone is running back to Twitter after trying Threads for 5 minutes. Social media erupts with memes slamming Zuckerberg's new app to rival Elon's as they complain about bugs and lack of basic features. This is why I was saying, some people are saying, it's the end of Twitter as we know it. It's going to die. Okay, guys, just an FYI, no one's flocking to Meta's site, okay? Facebook, people aren't sticking around on there. Oculus is effectively dead. Instagram's got some motion behind it, but I mean, even that, I wouldn't call it a growing platform as much as a stagnating one. What, you really think a Facebook-run Twitter alternative is going to work? Pfft. So the memes though are great. Everyone running back to Twitter after trying Threads for 5 minutes. So you go, here you go. Seeing people from Twitter on Threads. Everyone running back to Twitter after trying Threads. Here you go. There you go. A hard place and a rock. So you're stuck between a hard place and a rock. Is that Homer Simpson? I don't know. Here you go. Me right now between Threads and Twitter. Opening Threads. Closing door to Twitter. Opening door to Twitter. Closing door to Threads. All right. Here you go. Everyone running back to Twitter after trying Threads for 5 minutes. There you go. Confirming all the follow requests on Threads. There you go. Me coming back to Twitter. How do y'all expect Threads to be better than Twitter when they can't even fix Instagram? There you go. Good question. Me counting all the new bugs and basic features Threads lacks. And then, of course, there's the rival so far. So there you have it. All right. That's kind of fun. Oh, are there more over here? I don't know. I can't read what those ones are. So there you have it. Apparently Threads is not as amazing. It's not the Twitter killer everybody's saying it is. I think that the bird is flying on over and taking a big old poop on Threads. Whatever. Well, guys, Chucky's back. And out there in San Francisco, minor children wielding baseball bats are running around robbing moms at after-school pickup. I love this picture. I went with the not the bee version of this because I just love this picture of this little kid in punk gear carrying a baseball bat. The reality is these are probably like 16-year-olds. It's not like little children. As far as I can tell, I read a few different stories on this. We know it's minors. We know they're specifically robbing mothers in San Francisco on the mommy pickup walk, going to the school, picking up the kids, and then they're robbing them with baseball bats. But what they were doing then is, it's describing them as jumping into cars and fleeing. I don't exactly see little 8-year-olds robbing mothers with baseball bats and jumping into a car and driving off. I mean, maybe, stranger things have indeed happened, but that's kind of what's going on. The whole story is at the Telegraph. I read it. It wasn't particularly compelling, but baseball-wielding gangs of children are mugging mothers and nannies at the school runs in the latest crime wave to hit San Francisco. What a hellhole. Last week, Noah Valley, known as Stroller Valley because of the growing population of young families, endured 11 phone robberies that are believed to be carried out by the same gang who are targeting women who pick up kids from school. Sociologically, who knows what's going on? But I would not be surprised if we're going to be experiencing the lingering impacts of that for a generation. Okay, I will tell you sociologically exactly what's going on. What's going on is if you do not prosecute to the fullest extent of the law the minor crimes, they are going to exfoliate into major, major, major crimes. You see, if you take a guy who's caught shoplifting and you throw the book at him, he's not going to shoplift nor do any other criminal thing. Okay, this is the same thing I learned being a college professor. You go in there, you put in your syllabus, you do not accept late homework. If you accept anybody's late homework on week 1 of school because it's week 1, you're not used to it yet, this is the last time, you are going to be dealing with late homework every single day as a professor. But when I came in and I said this, no late homework, and week 1, somebody comes in, I was late with my homework. Can I get it to you later? The syllabus says there's no late homework. I will never deal with late homework again outside of very, very extenuate circumstances. In which case, if it's the 15th semester out of 18 in the school year, and I got one guy who's always handed in all his homework, like, dude, I forgot it in my locker. I'd be like, get it to me before I leave this room and you're good. That's the only thing. But if I do that on week 1, I will be dealing with late homework the whole time. The same thing is happening here. If you allow these people, if you're like, well, it was just a minor crime, so we're not going to do anything for you, they're going to escalate and cause serious criminal waves down the road. And that's what's going on. That is what causes minors with baseball bats to rob young mothers in San Francisco, because you have not picked these people up for minor crimes and thrown the book at them. You pick them up for minor crimes and throw the book at them, and then they're going to stop being criminals really, really fast. That's my thought. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you'd like to help support this channel, we do have a Subscribe Star page. Subscribestar.com/switchedtolinux. You can jump on over there, help keep the channel on running. And with that, thank you for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.